So having just killed a load of zombies with Resident Evil 4 and unfortunately getting our head chopped off, we thought we'd try and save some people with another title that Nintendo have got coming out called Trauma Center: Second Opinion. Now this is pretty much like, the best way to describe this would be like, you remember that game Operation that you used to play as a child where you had to take the funny bone out and the heart out and things like that? Well, imagine that, imagine it being interactive, and then bring in some motion control sensor, motion sensor controls, and you've got to then, as you can see here from the screen, stitch people up. So we can have a quick go. So the idea is you use an nunchuck to select the stitch, and then you have to use this to whiz across the thing. Now it's pretty basic stuff to begin with, but as it progresses it starts to get harder. Rather than sort of the hack and slash movements of Resident Evil 4, where you're sort of chopping and dashing your way through bad guys, this is sort of real precision work, because you've got to do it right, and there's a timer up here, because obviously if you don't save the guy quick enough he dies. And it's all very simple stuff. Now this has been out on the DS for a while, but it's finally coming to the Wii, and so it just uses the controller a bit better. As you can see, once again, the graphics aren't brilliant, but it's not about the graphics, it's more about the saving lives, you know, caring and sharing gameplay. And overall I think it's quite fun. You know, I think you might get bored after a while, but you know, we're having fun. We're going to cut this guy open with a scalpel now. We can do it in time. So there we go, cool. Right, so we've just passed the level and it just goes on like this, and it gets harder and harder, and now we've got to take out some little glass shards, and later levels you see sort of open heart surgery and all the other stuff. It's like a Grey's Anatomy, ER and a house all rolled into one. It's brilliant. We hate emoticons. Why do we hate emoticons? Well, because they're just bloody annoying. That's why we hate them. Okay, we don't mind the odd like little colon bracket to present a smiley face to pretend that you're being sarcastic because, you know, you really haven't fired them by email. But apart from that, just on an instant messenger, when you've got silly little men with feet waving around laughing on the floor when you've typed LOL, or when you've got someone typing go and it becomes this pink thing with this big exclamation mark and it's all a bit much when you've just written the word good. It's just annoying. Why can't you just damn well type and write as it's supposed to be in a decent font, whether it's a sans serif or not? And that's why we hate it so much. We hate emoticons. Next up is Super Paper Mario from Nintendo. Now this is Nintendo returning back to their roots with the moustached Italian plumber in yet another exciting adventure where he has to save Princess Peach. As you can probably see from the graphics, it's Mario from what you know and love from the SNES and everything else. You know, there's the mushrooms to make you go bigger, and there's the coins to collect, and little bad guys to squish, and pipes to go down. Is sure to please lots of gamers who just, you know, love the Mario experience. One of the differences between this just being a regular platform where I'm just walking from left to right is that I can press a button and I suddenly go into 3D world and it flips. And as you can see, it does allow you to see different elements of the game that you wouldn't find. Now you only have a limited amount of time on this before you die or you flip back, and that's because you're jumping to different dimensions within the game. So it's a tactical thing rather than being able to play the whole level as 3D. I mean, Mario's great fun, it's really addictive. One of the things that we've noticed with playing the playing Paper Mario is that the controller requires you to hold it like so, rather than merely pointing at the screen. However, when you get to a room, this is a really good example of where the controller works. Now we've come into this room, there's nothing there. It doesn't look like there is, but you point the controller at the screen. Let me try and find there we go, and look, there's a door, and it's appeared out as if by magic. And so you press the button, and it says a hidden door, and let's make it visible. And now I can then go on, just go back, reverting back to the regular controller. I can now go on and continue the mission. So it's always useful when you feel that you're stuck playing this game to start poking around to try and find secret doors, levels, exits, entrances and things like that. So overall I think it's quite a fun game. It's very basic, but it will appeal to the younger audience, which, you know, mostly have got the Nintendo. It's the younger players, but it's a classic platformer, and it's Mario what he does best, which is running around going, oh no! So that's Super Paper Mario. So what's the verdict? Well, if you're a Nintendo Wii owner, looks like you've got a good summer ahead. If you're not a Nintendo Wii owner, looks like you've got a summer ahead trying to find a Nintendo Wii, so you have got a good summer ahead. Basically, the games we played today have been great. The Resident Evil 4 is like a makeover on an old friend, and the new control system really helps. Trauma Sensor, it's like Operation that you used to play as a kid, but interactive, and pulling pieces of glass out of people or fixing viruses within them is actually quite strangely appealing. It was quite fun. Super Paper Mario, that was a brilliant twist on what we thought initially was just going to be another boring platform, and the idea of being able to spin it 3D to then sort of get through extra elements is really good. So it's all good news. The graphics aren't going to be as good as a PS3 or an Xbox 360 option or any games that are out there, but that's just one of the limitations of the Wii, and you shouldn't really let that hold you back, because at the end of the day it's all about gameplay rather than necessarily the best latest graphics that are going to make you think that you're in the real world. So overall, it looks like it's going to be good stuff. Well, that's it for this week for Megawatt TV. Tune in next time where you can get the lowdown on all the latest kit from the world of technology, including a cornucopia of news, reviews, tips, tricks, and much more. See you later.